Hello ladies, welcome to the Esther Fast Day 1. I am so happy that you are here joining me and so many other ladies. So this right here is your very first Day 1 devotional video. And today's title is Give God 3 Days. Give him 3 days. Today, I want to share this message with you, and we're coming from Isaiah chapter 58. And actually, this chapter is titled A Description of True Salvation. But also, don't forget, check out your fasting guide because we have some quotes in there, we have some scriptures, and we also have a reading plan for you on the book of Esther. But for this particular word today, for this devotional, the Lord told me, give him 3 days and do not hold back. So this right here is for the girl who's always holding back, who's always dimming her light, who's always like scared, who's always like can only give God a little bit, can't give him that relationship, can't give him this other stuff, where you just can never give God all of you. You always just give him pieces of you. God said for these 3 days, don't hold back, daughter. Give him 3 days. Give him 3 days to do what he needs to do, but also give all of you, your whole heart to him for 3 days. If that's just surrendering, if that's just letting go, if that is allowing him to be the Lord of your life again, if that is allowing him to be God again in your life, whatever that looks like, God says, give me 3 days. Give him 3 days where you fully give him your heart. I want to tell you today, for day 1, I need you to first remember that fasting is a sacrifice, and it is a time, and it's actually the scripture calls it a day of affliction. Okay, so when you're going through a fast and you're not eating and you're not drinking water, or you're not eating a certain type of foods, or you're doing a partial fast where you're going most of the day, that feels like an affliction. So I need you to remember that fasting, although we say pretty words about fasting and we're so excited, it's truly affliction when you're going through it, because it's a sacrifice. You are sacrificing things. Also, the Lord is saying in this season, in this fast, don't just sacrifice your stomach, but also sacrifice the areas you need to be working on. If that is judgment, if that is getting rid of your pride, if that is saying sorry to a family member who you've hurting, or a friend, God is saying deal with the resentment, because right now you need to start sacrificing all of these things. God says you need to put them on the table, okay? Because he wants to do more for you. Also, I want to tell you, when you are fasting, you want to be praying and seeking God. This is a time of consecration. Consecration means to be set apart. So there are going to be days during your fast where God is going to call you to set yourself apart. That means maybe at your lunch break, instead of eating lunch, you're going to go sit in your car and read your word or pray. Or you're going to go find a moment alone. Maybe with your kids, when you put your kids down, instead of going straight to bed, you're going to go seek the Lord for a little bit. God is saying in these 3 days, give him all of you. Give him all of you and pray and seek him. Set yourself apart and consecrate yourself. So if you're always hanging out with your boyfriend or your friends all the time, those 3 days, set yourself apart. God is saying, for these 3 days, give me you, because if you give me you, I'm going to give you more of me. You give me you, I'm going to give you more of me. You empty out your cup, I'm going to fill it up. God is saying, give me 3 days. The next thing he said is to fast with your heart. It tells us in Matthew chapter 6 that don't fast like the Pharisees and Sadducees that fast for people, that fast to say, oh, look, I made it 3 days with no water and dry, and I did it, right? God says don't do it like that. Do it with your heart. Fast with your heart. Do it in secrecy. Do it alone. So when God is talking to you and he's calling you to fast, even though I know we're doing it corporately, but like, don't do it for everybody else. Do it for you in Jesus. God is saying fast with your heart. And as you fast with your heart, a true fast with your heart, you start removing stuff. You start removing your pride, your ego, your fears. You start letting go. And you may be saying, Morgan, what does fast with my heart look like? Girl, it looks like surrender. It looks like you just letting go. Like, man, I don't know how this going. I just let go. I'm not even going to control this no more. I can't even control how the outcome going to be. I can't control how you're going to bring a breakthrough. I can't control how you're going to heal my family. I can't control how you're going to take me to the next level. I can't control any of that. So all I can do, Lord, is I'm just letting go. Fasting with your heart looks like you are surrendering the things that you've been holding on so tight to, girl. Okay? God is saying fast with your heart, not just your stomach. Don't be on a diet. Don't be on a diet just saying like, oh, I ain't ate in 2 days. God is like, no, give me your heart. Give me your heart, okay? And this is next thing is God says, give me all of you just for 3 days. Just give me all of you. And you're like, Morgan, what does that look like? That means, girl, you are setting yourself apart. You are going in. You like they say, I'm going in. Like think about this. When a person is getting ready for a tournament or a basketball game or something, they're getting ready for something big, even a marathon, they start preparing, they start going in, they're going hard, they're going daily, thinking about it, preparing for it. God is like, do that for these 3 days with me. Go in with me. Go into that secret place. Go deep with me again. And I said this, and that's why I use the flyer of, for our devotional, I use that older picture because I want to share with you. God says, go fall back in love with me again, like the old days. Go back deep again. Go back before the kids. Go back before the ministry. Go back before the purpose and the calling. Let's go back to before real quick because I'm kind of calling you deeper. God says, give me all your heart. And the last thing he said again, and I got to reiterate this to you. Give God 3 days. And I need to read the scripture to you. Isaiah chapter 58, verse 8. Then shall your light break forth as the morning, and your health shall spring forth speedily. And your righteousness shall go before you, and the glory of the Lord shall be your reward. Then shall you call, and the Lord shall answer. You shall cry, and he shall say, here I am. If you take away from the midst of the yoke, and the putting forth of your finger and speaking vanity. So God says, if you take away the yoke in your eye, the issue, the thing that's holding you down, if you take that away, if you take away your pride and your ego, and you take away all these negative words or speaking things that don't even value, God says, I will bring you a reward. And your reward shall be more of me, of God. So I want to tell you this right now, girl. Give God 3 days. I don't know how you're supposed to do it. I don't know. Give them 3 days. Even if you're doing a partial fast. But in those 3 days, give God all of you. God is saying, give me 3 days to do a breakthrough. Give me 3 days to shift these things in your life. Give me 3 days to move the mountains. Give God 3 days, daughter of God. Give him 3 days. Okay? And I want to tell you right now, you may feel nervous. You may feel like you don't know how you're going to see day one might already be challenging for you. And you're like, I can't even see the finish line. It's okay, girl. God is your source. Lean on the Lord. Allow him to strengthen you. Give God 3 days. All of you for 3 days. He conquered death in 3 days, girl. He can conquer the things that look dead in your life. Give God 3 days. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining me on this devotional day one. Join me and our guest speaker tonight for night one of our Esther fast. All right, ladies, thank you so much. Comment down below your favorite part and the part that ministered to you the most, and I'll see you tonight.